Good evening and welcome to the 16 November 2023 edition of Naval Order of the United States Continental Commandery's Maritime History Virtual Lecture Series. I'm Fred Passman, Commander General-elect of the Naval Order of the United States, and I welcome you this evening. The series was launched in May of 2020 after COVID pandemic shutdowns created an opportunity for more virtual programming. Our first lecture was hosted by Captain Aaron Bresnahan, my predecessor as commander of the Continental Commandery. And that was an interview with Mr. David Ferrero, who was the 10th archivist of the United States Navy Vietnam. He was also a Navy Vietnam veteran. Since then, we've recorded more than 30 presentations, all of which you can find on the Commandery's website under past events or on the Commandery's YouTube channel. Before I introduce this evening's speaker, I'll just say a few words about the Naval Order of the United States. Although most of you know, the Naval Order is our nation's oldest ancestral organization dedicated to maritime history. Our mission is to preserve, promote, and celebrate U.S. maritime history and to cultivate camaraderie amongst our companions. Anyone who has served in one of our maritime services or is a direct descendant of a maritime service veteran is eligible to join. For more information, visit the Naval Order website at www.navalorder.org and click How to Join NOUS. Today's presentation is being recorded on YouTube, and you'll be able to ask questions in the comments box. Also, the YouTube video will be available for watching immediately after the program is ended. To ask questions or to watch later, you use the same link that you used to join us this evening. After Chaplain Sita has completed his presentation, we'll have a question and answer session, and I will share any questions that you have posted into the comments box with him. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce this evening's presenter, Lieutenant Commander Arun Sita of the Chaplain Corps, United States Navy. Chaplain Sita is a native of Rayong, Thailand. He immigrated to the United States in June of 2001. And before immigrating, he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Makamakut, and you'll correct me on my pronunciation, please, Buddhist University in Bangkok. Then earned a Master of Science from the National Institute of Development Administration in Bangkok, and that was in 2000. He then earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Excelsior College in New York in 2009 and a Master's of Divinity from University of the West in Rosemead, California in 2012. Before he received his commission in the Chaplain Corps, Lieutenant Commander Sita served as the ship's serviceman aboard the USS Kidd DDG 100, where he was advanced to the rate of a serviceman third class. He's now been serving as a selected reserve chaplain since 2010, having spent much of his CELRES career supporting the Marine Corps units. At present, he serves at the Naval Reserve and Naval Surface Force Pacific TICOM headquarters in San Diego. So, Arun, want to welcome you this evening. Good to have you.
Thank you very much, sir, to have me here, sir.
So doing a little bit of homework, I understand currently the Navy has a total of 800 chaplains. It's probably the smallest specialty within the Navy.
Yes.
And how many Buddhist chaplains do we have?
Currently, we have 2 Buddhist chaplains. We have one on the active duty and one on the reserve. is me on reserve on active duty at Chaplain Kim.
Excellent. Well, looks like you are 50% of our force capability. How does that feel?
Yeah, feel very very honored, sir. It's feel great, yes, sir.
What inspired you to get involved in the chaplaincy?
That s- um very simple is try to serve other people and be able to support people around me. Yes, sir.
And I'm guessing that you knew that's what you wanted to do before you enlisted and before you did your service as an enlisted service member while pending acceptance into the chaplaincy program. Is that a fair assumption?
Yes, sir. That's yeah, that's correct, sir. I'm planning to serve in as a Navy chaplain before I even entered to the Navy. Before I enlisted is and the enlisted is the part of the plan to learn the culture, the history of the Navy, customs, and make sure I'm feel comfortable. I know where they came from and feel uh, feel the same challenge that they felt on the field. Yes, sir.
Very good. I know you have a full program for us this evening, so without any further ado, I'm going to give you the deck and the con and let you take over.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for having me here. It's my honored and privileged to be here tonight to present operational stress control. Today we're going to start with a little bit of a hit it part three part of a presentation. Today we talk a little bit about history of United States Navy Chaplain Corps, and then I will give you a little bit of a background by myself, why I'm so interested into mindfulness and operational stress control. And specifically today is the techniques that we practice mindfulness today. It's relevant, effective, and applicable. How the effective, how those applicable, and how that relevant to you. Well, we'll talk about that later on today. A little bit about history of the Navy Chaplain Corps is established on November 28, 1775, which is today is kind of our in couple weeks will become our anniversary days, and that's when we become 20 248 years, which is we uh, we serve as under a four core capability of chaplain core, which is developed from the day one to now, is solid responsibility. That fourth core capability is the first provide religious services on basically provide based on the chaplain denomination. Each chaplain might have different denomination. For example, the Christians or Catholics, Catholic priests might do Catholic mass, and then other chaplain might do their own religious services. For the second core capability is facilitations. Facilitation is more about the provide opportunity for other member who not have a same religious background as the chaplains. So that become to play very important roles that to provide religious accommodations, religious needed, and be a liaison for those service member to coordinate uh, chaplain from different phases to come on base or on the ship to provide religious services, or when we go somewhere around the world we be able to connect with local churches, have our service member have opportunity to attain those services. The next one is the care. It's a care for all, which is mean from E1 to to O10s. That's what care is. We care for all peoples, all personnel. We provide pastoral care, spiritual counselings. That is based on you can counseling. You come to a chaplain when we have a counseling is 100% confidentiality. You can talk to the chaplain, get some guidance, or uh, leave take anything out of your shoulder to get the fresh to reignite your own inner strength. That's like in a part of care for all. This portion is like a huge portion of our careers, and all chaplains have to work on the pastoral care and counseling that's on daily basis. And the next one is it's why we advise commanding officer on morals and morals, religious in culture or ethics. That's how's that going to work with command, specifically morals in command. So we kind of adjust as observing and give the command as wise that if the time the needed. This is a kind of a little bit of brief overview about the duties and core capability of chaplains. Because this month is considered the month of our birthday of Chaplain Corps. We're celebrating history and heritage of the Navy chaplains by just the first and October 30, 1799, we have a first chaplain served in the United States Navy, Chaplain William Bluch. That's after a couple years after we established it. And then August 4, 1912, we have our first Navy chaplain to serve exclusively with the Marine Corps. And October 30, 1917, we have first Jewish chaplain to be commissioned. And November 5th, 1917, first chief of Navy chaplains. And March of 1943, we have first chaplain serve with the Operational Coast Guard Unit. Following with July 28 in 1944, we have first African American chaplain to be commissioned in the Navy, the Chaplain Jim Brown. And the following is July 2nd, 1973, which is the 50-year anniversary on this year's. We all chaplain, we celebrate that our 50th anniversary of the first female chaplains to be commissioned in the DOD, Chaplain Diane. In August 20, 1998, first Muslim chaplain to be commissioned in the United States Navy. And the following year, and July 22nd, 2004, first Buddhist chaplain to be commissioned in the Department of Defense, Chaplain Janet Chin. She's the first Buddhist chaplain, and I am a second Buddhist chaplain. I commissioned in 2010, so kind of a 6 year after her commission. And because of the work the chaplain that dedicate devote for our service member and our job, we have a ship's name for the Navy chaplains is like at least 6 ships, includes in DDG and FFs and FFG, this kind of ship that you can see. Because of the wide range of our work, since the beginnings now to the end, the role of the chaplains expand beyond traditional religious duties. Because back in the day, the first start is kind of we want to make sure our member have some kind of spiritual support from the religious backgrounds, from church, home church, and they can feel supported, that they feel connected with higher power in the job when they do the duties. That's mainly the chaplain at that time. It's kind of focused on religious duties. But later on, it's kind of expand beyond that to be more after World War II. It's a more addressing on psychological and emotional challenge faced by service members, such as PTSD, family issues, and moral injury or ethics. That's kind of big problem that arising after combat experiences. And now modern challenge that people have to face to with and chaplain is more expanded to promoting religious tolerance and accommodating the diverse religious practice of personals. Different peoples should have their own opportunity to practice whatever they believe it in. And the Navy, one of the Navy believe in diversity. The power of diversity is kind of unique in our Navy uh, nowadays. You're going to see as here is kind of a different denominations, different religions. Here is kind of symbolic to represent different religions here, including Muslim, Jewish, Christians. Here we can see, as we can see here, is a religious diversity in active duty forces. Because while we focus on different religions, while we talk about diversity and while we talk about spirituality, because we take a look at people as at the whole person, holistics, and mind, body, and spirit. And in this category, you can see those 19.9% is Christian Catholic, uh, and then 17.9% is Christian Protestant, and other little things, different denomination right there. And Christian non-denomination is 32.4%. But you can see on the left-hand side uh, of the screen, you can authors on unclassified or unknowns. That's 24.4%. That also is kind of sometimes they refer themselves as not religious but spiritual. These also need the portion of the care that we care for, or we from the chaplains we can take care of what they need, listen to their problems and support them and encourage them in the right directions. And today challenge is 21st century. We chaplain is more navigate issue related to religious freedoms. As I said before, everybody has the opportunity to practice their own religions, have space, time, and other religious accommodations that they need. We provide support to service members of different faiths addressing spiritual need, a multicultural and a multinational forces. This is kind of from people's here. see more broad and see the diversity is very important. And those came with the diversity is multiple cultural. That's the important too. Promoting mental health and resilience, and helping service member coping with stress of deployment and military life. It's not easy to understand if we're not the circle of deployment is create some challenge and lots of stress for a service member. It's not only a service member but also the family that they need to have those kind of support. And we promote ethics, values, and resilience with the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. This is what these kind of the topics, this kind of challenges we have to face every day, because every day change. The world is changing because a lot of a factor it changed from before. So we have to we need to keep updating and keep up with the world. As I say, this is a chaplain fundamentals. This is what Navy chaplain does. We take responsibility to manage command religious programs. The religious program is for commanding officers, but the chaplains it manages for CO. The CO is to have the ultimate responsibility, but we take care of that. It's kind of our role and responsibility. And as I said in the beginning, core competencies for core competency of the chaplain is provide for their own religious uh, backgrounds, like provide religious service, Sunday services, um, Bible study, uh, meditations, or high holidays. Facilitation is make sure people who have different faiths than the chaplain have opportunity to practice their own religious belief, and then be able to help them to go through the way they need. For example, the related accommodations for high holiday, what they need, for during Ramadan, what they need, halal foods, kosher foods. And this is the kind of things that we make sure everybody on the command personnel have those opportunity. And care for all, this again, this is kind of give the overview about uh, spiritual counseling, pastoral care, and advice command on ethicals, morals, and morals issues, including religious and culture in different portion of different area of the world. And those counseling and spirituality counseling or pastoral care, that's specifically for counseling with chaplain. When we talk to chaplain, it's 100% confidentiality to make sure if you can talk to chaplain, everything's will stay with chaplains, nothing else. Nobody else can take away those confidentiality. And we also chaplain do religious need assessments to make sure the command what the religious need in each unit, and religious accommodations at the beginning, what they need, what the spiritual accommodation they need. They need some material, some books, some study time, study or quiet time, that we make sure they have space time and equipment that they need to pursue or to complete their religious need. Religious lay leader training on each, when for example we can have the deployed, but the chaplains is not only one chaplain on board, but maybe have five or four or six or seven of different denomination, but we try to find during those deployment, we try to find the leaders, lay leader. We train those lay leader. They can lead some religious service on the ships and develop spiritual readiness. That's kind of developed help to create the programs and training to help the spiritual readiness for the command. It's kind of the this is kind of north star of the chaplain corps is trying to build the readiness, overall readiness for uh, member for sailors, marine, and coast guard men and women. And if you can see, these ones are more spirituals. Make sure they have those kind of spiritual need because 24, as I said before, 24.4%. They claim nothing. Is they just say that they are uh, spiritual but not religious. That we also take care of them as well, because everybody will look at holistic persons, holistic mind, body, and soul and spirit that just come together. That's the portion that we take a look at. That's why the chaplain is kind of inspiring hope, strengthen spiritual well-beings. We make sure they have hope. They be able to reconnect it with their own spiritual for their own well-being, you know. And then that's the for the well-being portion is when they have a they be well, they have those kind of readiness, they have capability to fight. That's the key piece. And resilience, be able to bow back when they get strained, they get tired, they exhausted. They need to be able to go back and recharge and ignite their own inner strength. So from the higher power, reconnect that, they find their own meaning and value in life, so they can moving forward. And the big thing is the huge thing is because of all things together, we make a readiness, combat readiness is it combined with spiritual readiness, strategy, and all things readiness. It's kind of like a the readiness is the kind of key portion word that we looking, and then that's the goal that we looking for, because when we're ready, we be able to fight, we protect, we deter our mission. And the Navy chaplain represent more than 100 faith groups and serve with the Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marines. And because of what we serve in the Navy, and a little bit of here and there, we can see from slide before, and a portion of that is resilience. A portion resilient, we need to have the different tool to practice to make sure our bring our resilience come back. One of those many tools that I would like to present today is mindfulness tool. It's called mindfulness stress reduction and preventions. Not only reduce stress, but prevent future stress if you keep practicing. So today we're going to be able to have a little bit of opportunity to learn what mindfulness is, and second, we be able to experience what it'd be like to be in a mindful state. And in the third, we be able to apply or identify our individual resting point, and then be able to apply mindfulness to daily routine, to apply its uses in our daily basis. What is mindfulness? We heard about mindfulness a lot, and many people talk about that. Very, very simple. If we start with very simple, is moment by moment awareness, or present awareness, present moment awareness. A little bit longer is going to pay attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. That's from John Kabat-Zinn. He's considered at the first and the father, I will say, is the father of the West mindfulness practice. He started mindfulness practice in Massachusetts, and that's kind of the first time that he used that. And the following is keeping one consciousness alive to the present reality. This is the mindfulness. And the following is keeping one complete attention to experience on a moment to moment basis. The last is clear and single minded awareness of what actually happened to us and in us at the sexy moment of perceptions. It's kind of a lot of things, but basically aware of yourselves, self awareness, and situation awareness. Just be aware of the present moment. That's very simple. So the the first objective that we hit in what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is be aware of the present moment, or present or moment by moment awareness. Some little you hear mindfulness and meditation. Sometimes mindfulness and meditation, how that difference is. Okay, I will break it up very simple. Mindfulness is an awareness of the present moment, both internally and externally, okay, in your body and out of your body, around surrounding you. But it's just one moment at a time. But how about meditation? This meditation is focusing on one point, one moment is mindfulness. When you try to focus on the present, one moment, that's mindfulness. After two or three, or after two moments, it's gradually become a meditation state. That's the difference between mindfulness and meditation. But it's all things is kind of go together. It's kind of a is not really be able to separate. But you can focus without awareness, but it's not going to work that way because you're aware and you focus, and that's kind of how it's practiced. And the mindfulness practice, mindfulness meditation, has had been uh, used a lot. You're going to see in this from American Mindfulness Research Association 2023. This year actually, we measure we not measure, I'm sorry, it's kind of keep uh recorded how many academic journal article has since 1980 to 2022. We have at least 10,600 article. It shows how that have benefit on our life, how related to, how that we can use that. But today is kind of learning. We not intellectual learning, but gonna show you at the end of the training on experiential basis. I'm gonna make sure you know exactly, you experience exactly what it should be like when you are experience present moment. Because of the benefit of the mindfulness, we can use that. It's got to extend a little bit more in our military in armed forces as well. This on the top is you can see that Air Force have have some program on mindfulness as well. Some Navy SEAL retired commander John, he kind of used the mindfulness a lot to help him to reduce stress and help him have uh, restore his energy. Let's see. Benefits of mindfulness is to reduce pain and stress, lower blood pressure, and reduce anxiety, reduce depression, reduce avoidance, and help us increase resilience and happiness and well-being and self-compassion. That's kind of key. And then also it help improve impulse control, improve our sleep. It help with ability to focus and improve relaxations and strengthens relationships. Going to talk about that later on. Is use mindfulness, use breathing exercise when we're talking and when listening. It's called compassionate listening, compassionate conversations. You're going to see a lot of benefits of mindfulness practice, and you're going to see this in the picture illustrations of before and after of brainwave synchronization. You're going to see this is kind of a blue color is minimals and maximals the red color that the brain can activate and working. So um, after 15 minutes, you're going to see that lots of rate in there. But after 25 minutes, you can see it's mindfulness meditation can balance both brain. Uh, the you can see those picture. You see those more activated, uh, more rate in color, and they also have research that show mindfulness significantly reduce anxiety after 20 minutes of meditation practice. I'm going to show you one more about it relating to your brain. This is how amygdala, the portion of the brain that respond for fight or freed, fight or fly or freed. There's kind of that when we have exciting, anxious, uh, kick off by just no reason. It's not supposed to feel anxious or stressed, just stress for kind of no reason. That is kind of practice. You see, the after they practice using mindfulness and meditation for couple uh, couple times, going to see the difference. Amygdala is less activated after the meditation trainings. Mindfulness practice, a clinical intervention, is very uh, unique and have a lot of benefits on the ground. So that's why we applying mindfulness into medical intervention. Referred is called MBSR, mindfulness based stress reductions, introduced by John Kabat-Zinn in 1979 at Massachusetts Medical Center. And mindfulness based cognitive therapy, MBCT, by Ted Cheadles, Siegels, and Williams in 1995. Acceptance Commitment Therapy, or ACT, by Stephen Hayes and his friends. Relapse Preventions by Gardens, and Dialectic Behavioral Therapy by Lyons in 1993. These this is corporate because it's just a very powerful tool. That's what we can use for whatever we want to use for. It is a good tool that we can put in our toolbox. And because that mindfulness is so good in many ways, they use this more than 2,000, 3,000 years. It's all we have then influence in some way that help people. So mindfulness in military, we use this to help or be aware of ourselves and managing uh, finances, spiritual, emotions, physicals, intellectuals or socials, environmental well-beings. It's kind of broad rounds because of these three things and connections is mind, body, and spirit. And mindfulness is kind of the little piece that connect those three together. It's kind of the tool, good tool to put in your toolbox, and you need to use it. You can use it anytime and anywhere. And the question is come up how to practice mindfulness. They have a bunch of they have a lot of practice out there, the way how to practice. But in summary, right? In summary, the how to practice is remain focused and observe on the body in and of itself. The first one. The second, focus and observe on on the feelings in and of themselves. Focus and observe on the mind in this in and of itself. In this way, it's kind of observe your or focus and observe your consciousness and mental quality in and of themselves. Mental quality it represents your emotions up and down, different emotion arising. That's observe that. It's a zoom in and zoom out, zoom in and zoom out. When you see, when you hear, when you smell things, so aware. What make you feel when you see something, and what does make your body inside of yourself? What emotion? What kind of emotion you have? What kind of thought you have? What kind of reaction your body have? And what's the situation around you look like in that moment? How to practice? This is the way how to practice in general, but in more details, it's called uh, a single breath return to resting point techniques. It's very particular techniques to do it. These techniques is very simple. I'm gonna bring it back to everybody. This is the first one. It's called a relevant. Why I say relevant, because of each of us has been doing that before. It's always using the the breathe. We um if you were think about yourself, what the last time you signed like this, we always sometime, but sometimes we're not aware of the when the last time we signed like this. This is our natural body system to maintain our balance, to release stress. Instead of letting go by nature, we just focus and observe, intentionally do it. Okay, now we're gonna try to practice a little bit. Okay, together. Are we gonna breathe in? I'm gonna breathe in through your nose. You're gonna breathe in through your nose, breathe out or sigh out through your mouth. Right after the air completely out, observe last second of the breath. Feel your inner tensions and release your tension and let it go. The key is observe, feel at the end, and releases. Observe, feel, release. Okay, let's do it again to here, but let's do it together. Breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. You can open your mouth a little bit. Observe last second of the breath, what it feel like. Feel it, your inner tensions, and release your attention and let it go. I do one more time. Breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath, feel it, and releases. Breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath, feel inner tensions, and release tension and let it go. Is it done? And we do it again. Breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath, feel your inner tension, release your tension, and letting go. Now it takes some maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Go ahead and close your eye and breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. Observe the nature at the end of the breath. No matter what you feel like, what it looked like at the end of the breath, feel it and letting go. Breathe into your nose, Sigh out through your mouth. Observe the nature at the end of the breath. Feel your inner feelings. No matter if it's tension, hot, cold, sensation, any sensations, feel it and letting go, it's done. At the very end, observe to see how last is long, how long those feelings last. Breathe in to your nose, south through your mouth. Observe at the end of the breath. Feel your inner feelings, releases all of them and letting go. And reset. Breathe into your nose, south through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath. Feel your inner feelings, release it, all of them, and let it go. You might feel little tensions at the end of the breath. Is feel it. You observe closely. You're gonna see that the feeling that you feel at the end of the breath, like feel like a little fade away, a little relief, or feel a little delighted, but not. It's not gonna stay that long. It's for a few seconds, less than a second, like two, one, less than a second, 1 second the most, and then it's gone. Those feeling is gone. But that moment that you feel at the end of the breath is called mindfulness state. Okay, now you experience what it should be like to be in the present moment. That present moment will come very short, one moment, and it's gone. And come again, one moment, and it's gone. We observe at the end. Let's do it again. Breathe into your nose, sigh through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath, feel it, and release it. At the end of the breath, if you take a look closely, you're going to see that a sense of pause, unplug, or it's kind of a unenforces. You don't need to try to not think. It's pause by itself. That's kind of how the mind body readjusting by itself. And at the end, there's kind of at the end of the breath, that is kind of you reconnect to yourselves, you rebalance it. That how to release stress. And this, let's do one more breath together. Breathe into your nose, south through your mouth. Observe the nature at the end of the breath. Feel your inner feeling and release them and letting go. It's to remember easy is offer, observe, feel, released. And when it's just important that in each person, each place, some person we have in on a ship, we have command control. If we control, we take a look in our body, when you have some resting point in the body or like command control, just where in your body, where's your resting point in your body, how to find it. This could be anywhere in your body. How to find your resting point is just do the do the breathing again. Breathe into your nose, sigh out through your mouth. Observe your inattention at the end of the breath. Where is it? Where you feel the sensation at the end of the breath. In your head, in your shoulder, or in your stomach, or in your face. Where is that? That is your resting point. Just do one more time to be able to identify your resting point. Breathe into your nose, sigh through your mouth. Observe the end of the breath. Feel your inner tensions. Where is that? The most sensations. Mine is in my chest. I feel it's in my chest all the time. And these resting point could changing like a command control in the combat zone. They can they can move the place, they can move everywhere based on your daily experiences. Like we got the it seemed like we freeze. Okay.
Thank you, Arun. That was quite interesting, and I appreciate your both giving us that history of the Chaplain Corps and then walking us through an exercise. I think I'll ask my last question first, um, being mindful of where we are in the hour. Um, so, in the SEALs, one's taught early on what they call box breathing, where you're inhaling for 20 seconds, holding for 20 seconds, exhaling for 20 seconds, and then leaving that exhale for another 20 seconds. So it's an 80-second cycle for each breath to help maintain a calm attitude. How does the OFR cycle compare with um, the box breathing? And I believe they both come from basically, Eastern breathing techniques.
Yes. Yes, sir. Both of them is similar, but gonna but both of them also give the attention to present moment. When we focus on the present moment, it's kind of take away from the past or the future stress. That's kind of bring in the present. Either way, that's comfortable. We can use as both techniques.
Okay, and I apologize. Something seems to have there. Now you're back.
All right,
We
Richard.
lost you off camera for a bit.
All right, sir. Sorry about that. I'm trying to bring it back. So so
You're
hard.
back now. Thank you. It's good to
All
have you
right,
back.
sir.
Um,
Yes, sir. I have a couple more slides to go over. Do we have time, sir?
we do not. We're getting up about 5 minutes before the hour.
All
So
right, sir. That's all right, sir. But at the end, just 1 minute after you be able to identify your resting point, and then you can apply that. When we talking, we observe a resting point, feel and release it. When we walking, we speaking, we pretty much we move our body. We observe, feel, release, and we lost in thought. We observe, feel, release at the end of all activity in our day. That's kind of the portion of it's called applying. We can do it
right. Okay.
anywhere, anytime, any situations. Self-awareness and situation awareness, sir.
Thank you. You mentioned that the Chaplain Corps was founded in 1775, but the first chaplain didn't serve until 1799. So that's a 24-year gap. How was the chaplain function handled during that 24-year period?
I
You know,
believe, yeah, I believe that we have religious service on board of the ship, but not exactly. We kind of have a contractor or invite priests come on board during that time period,
so the
and
chap.
I believe that some officer have the background, the pastor back home, and they
Okay.
can do a service on Sunday service as well, sir. Before we
Now,
can put
along the
all
same
things
line.
together.
Okay, no, I'm trying to get in as many questions as possible before we run out of time. I'm sorry. The There's over 100 different denominations currently served by different chaplains of different religious movements. Now, the majority are variations on a theme of Christianity, so they all have the cross insignia.
Yes, sir.
Uh, you have an insignia for Islam. You have an insignia for rabbis,
Yes, sir.
and you have a special insignia for Buddhist chaplains.
Yes, sir.
And
We do. Yes, sir. We do have
here
we
you
have
can show me your
it's
sleeve.
called down the wheel, so I can show you. I'm
Oh,
gonna make
there,
sure.
there you go.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So, how many different chaplain insignias are there? Do you have a
Oh,
feel? 20, 30?
I'm not recall this time. We have at least just seven at least 7 or 8 seven denominations.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I not recall this time. So I'm
Not a
sorry, sir.
problem. Do you
I should know better.
recall? So, the timing of Diane Pullman becoming a chaplain remarkably coincides when, various denominations started accepting
Yes,
women
sir.
clergy. Um,
Right.
and do you recall what Diane Pullman's religious background was or is?
She I'm we just I think she's it's kind of Protestant in yes, sir.
Okay, so probably maybe Methodist, or but you don't
Oh,
know which.
I'm not recalled to, but
Okay,
it just talked. Yeah, but she's
fair
the
enough.
first one. We just talked to her. So it's very, very very warm heart, and so happy to be able to celebrate 50-year anniversary with her in San Diego.
Great. Jim Trenton thanks you for a most interesting presentation. Thank you, Jim. Jim is one of our Continental shipmates who's actually been in your chair. He has presented for us. Uh, his presentation was Kerfuffle over the Norwegian Sea.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of presentations, one, I want to thank you again for being with us this evening and sharing your excellent words. I also want to let everybody know that we will meet again on 21 December, where we will hear about Pearl Harbor as it unfolded on 7 December 1941, marking the dawn of carrier-based warfare. Stephen Cross of the Midway Museum's Speakers Bureau, another San Diegoan, um, will be our presenter. Again, that's Thursday, 21 December, again at 1900 Eastern Standard Time. With that, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening and look forward to, let's see, you look forward to seeing you folks next month. Same bat time, same bat channel. And thank you and good night.